It's kind of like the difference between when man invented the wheel and we were just pushing rocks around. So, but I know there's lots of different ways that hosts will do booking. But for us, it was pretty simple. We need a room booked. You call the hotel and you book it. It comes back to us. Then we call the guests and let them know, give them their information. And that's all well and good until a Saturday night show night hits and you have a VIP diamond trying to get your last suite in, and it's almost easier to run down to the hotel and run and book it in person because you'll be waiting in that queue forever. I'll tell the story. The very first time I booked a room in TRIO, we had just gone live, and I went home and I was on my couch and my guest texted me, "Hey, I need a room for tonight." And I'm laying sideways on my couch. And I hit book tonight, suite, go. And then 30 seconds later, I get a confirmation that pops up, send. And then there's a confirmation, and they send me all these, "Hey, that's great, that's awesome." Since then, we've made it easier, and it automates the response. So now I hit 2 buttons, it goes off. A couple minutes later, it gets booked. They automatically get sent the message. Depending on what they say, they may even get a more customized response back. So it's really sped that process through just exponentially. And just to be able to see exactly, how many rooms we booked for what day. And then every time you have lists of people in TRIO, just about any time you see a list, you can create a group off that list. So if I go back and see, okay, everyone went to this event last year, the very first people I want to talk to are the VIPs that went last year. Send them a customized message like, "Hey, you did this show. You want to do this show too?" Like, "Of course I do." And it's like, "Oh, great. I don't have to do all the grunt work into figuring out who went last year. It's all there." So it makes it all super streamlined. So.
Yeah, and operationally, it smooths out the any friction and operations between the hotel and the host department. Typically, that can be kind of a tough one to navigate sometimes because the host can be very demanding, rightly so, in getting the VIPs in, and then the hotel is trying to handle the traffic they're handling, and they're in different worlds, and we have, typically we would have to wait for the hotel to book it and then try to get a hold of the hotel to get a confirmation number. So again, going back to an older school or an older system of how things are booked. And I think that on the operational side, that's wonderful because it smooths that out. But also, like Nic was explaining, his part of it was cool, but even better for the guest. Like the guest, we just look like heroes because, we just got him a room just like that. All he had to do was text something. And on the campaign pages, you have a built-in button that says "Book my room now." So very simple. It's even that much simpler for the guest, right? Like we build Absolutely. A campaign page. We got an event. We got a thing going on. We build a campaign page. We send it out. The VIP opens his message or his email. He says, "Book my room now," and we're done. It's beautiful,
Those pages are a sandbox too. So I'm not going to say all the things we use them for, but we use them for way more things than just, "Hey, do you want to come to this event?"
Right. We do.
You can use it in a million different ways. I used it to send out a Christmas card to myself personally for my family. So it's like, probably shouldn't have said that on camera, but it looked great and they loved it.
Can we edit that?
Anyway, but there's a million and one things you can do with it. And as soon as you put me in a sandbox and show me all the tools and how they work, the first question I'm asking is, "Wait, can I do this?" And it's like, "Oh yeah, I can. Yeah. I can do this. Can I do this too?" Like, "Oh no, I can." Like, that just blows the lid off of it. So you're really limited to your imagination because it's just, and I don't know how to create a web page or anything, but by the time I'm done with it, it looks like I just made a web page. The first time I showed it to the director, he looked at me and was like, "You made this?" I'm like, "Yeah, in like 5 minutes." Like, I made it fast. So it's just, you can use it however you can imagine how you can use it, and it works. I was just about to jump into some secret sauce. You can just do this. It's really great. But there's a lot of things you can do beyond just face value of what you can do with it.
Yep. And it'll be, the cool thing about that, though, is it'll be different for every property. The things we're doing here don't necessarily work at every property, right? So I think that's a cool thing about the product, too. A lot of products out there are sort of cookie cutter. They cookie cutter you, and that's kind of annoying sometimes, right? So you have enough flexibility built into the product that we can make it work for us. We have a certain situation or a certain thing that we're trying to do with our players, we can totally use TRIO to help support that campaign or effort.